Hello, good evening. I'm Ashani Gamage with Prime TV News. First, a look at your headlines. Supreme Court rules that dissolution of Parliament is illegal. Torrential rain and strong winds are expected in the deep sea areas. Helicopters are used to douse the fire at Nalatanya. And in news overseas, Theresa May survives a no-confidence motion. And now the news in detail. The Supreme Court announces the verdict stating that the Gazette notification dissolving the Parliament is not in accordance with the Constitution. The 7-member judge bench unanimously made this judgment, stating that it was illegal to dissolve the Parliament before its 4.5-year term limit. The hearing of the case took place for 3 full days on the 4th, 5th and 6th of this month before a panel of judges comprising Chief Justice Nalin Pereira, Buaneka Aluwihare, Sisira Diabru, Priyantha Jayawardena, Prasanna Jayawardena, Vijit Malalgoda and Murdu Fernando. The Supreme Court verdict was delivered 6 days after the conduct of the hearing. 13 parties, including the United National Party, the Tamil National Alliance, the Janata Vimukti Peramuna, the Muslim Congress, and the Centre for Alternative Policy, had filed the fundamental rights petitions and were listed for hearing on the 10th of November this year. The Attorney General, the Chairman of the Elections Commission and its members had been cited as respondents in these petitions. Submissions were made by 10 parties, including Professor G.L. Piris and Udyagamman Pilla, as intervening parties against the petitions. 10 petitions were filed in the Supreme Court by 10 parliamentarians as intervening parties to make submissions against the petitions. Among them were Anura Priyadarshana Yapa, W.D.J. Seneviratna, Shriyani Vijay Vikrama, Lakshman Vasanta Pereira, Anuradha Jayaratna, Chandima Veerakodi, Pavitra Vanyarachi and Sisira Jayakodi. The Supreme Court issued a stay order on the 13th of November, temporarily suspending the implementation of the Gazette notification issued by the President dissolving Parliament. This verdict was delivered by a 3-judge bench. The Supreme Court ruled that the verdict will be valid until this ruling was given. A motion was filed in the Supreme Court on the 16th of December requesting a full judge bench for the hearing of the fundamental rights petition that was filed challenging the Gazette notification. These motions were filed on behalf of 5 intervening parties, including Professor G.L. Piris. Through these motions, a request was made to take up the case for hearing before a panel including 5 or more judges. Accordingly, the Supreme Court decided that the hearing of the case will be done before a panel comprising 7 judges. The hearing of the petitions commenced on the 4th of December. Lawyers appearing on behalf of the petitioners said that the President had no authority to dissolve Parliament at this juncture according to the 19th Amendment to the Constitution. However, in his submissions, the Attorney General said that the President has executive powers under Articles 33, 2 and 70 of the Constitution to dissolve Parliament. Residents in the Bengamukanda area in Katuana staged a protest opposite the police station based on an incident with respect to a death of a person. More than 500 persons were reported to be involved in the protest. Our correspondent said that the police took action to launch a tear gas attack and disperse the protesters.
A group of officers from the Katuana police had conducted a raid on an illegal liquor brewery in the Bengamukanda area in Katuana yesterday. The death of 50-year-old resident of the area has been reported, and according to the residents, the man was killed by an assault of the police officers. According to the police officials, the person was found lying on the road and that they had intervened and acted to admit him to the hospital. The police have denied allegations that they have carried out an assault. The residents of the area staged a protest opposite the police station based on this incident. The police said that 4 of the officers were injured in this incident. The body of the dead persons is placed at the Katuana hospital. The post-mortem is due to be conducted today.
An agriculture innovations forum aimed at uplifting the agriculture industry was held at the Bandar Nayaka Memorial International Conference Hall. It was organized under the patronage of parliamentarian Mahinda Amaravira. Discussions at this forum centered on the programs needed for the uplift of elected cultivations. It was declared that the Ministry of Agriculture will totally sponsor these programs. More attention will be focused particularly on fruit cultivation. An agriculture exhibition is being held at the BMICH premises as the main program of this exercise. Parliamentarian Mahinda Amaravira said that they expected to introduce modern agricultural technology. Presentations are being made on challenges that will have to be faced in the future and the manner in which these challenges should be surmounted. Mr. Amaravira mentioned that reasons were also being submitted to the use of modern technology as a solution to the dearth of labour. The low-pressure area in the South Bay of Bengal to the southeast of Sri Lanka is likely to develop into a depression during the next 24 hours. The Department of Meteorology said that it is expected to move north-northwestwards towards the Tamil Nadu coast on 15th December. Naval and fishing communities are requested to be vigilant in this regard. Mainly, fair weather can be expected over most parts of the island. However, showers or thunder showers can be expected in several places in the eastern province in the evening or night. Fairly strong gusty winds at times up to 40 kilometers per hour and fairly cold weather can be expected over the island. Under the influence of the low-pressure system, there is a high possibility for heavy rainfalls, sudden roughness associated with the sudden increase of wind speed up to 70 to 80 kilometers per hour in the deep sea areas of the coast extending from Hambantota to Kankasanture via Pothuil, Batiklo and Trincomalee. Fishermen are advised not to venture into the deep sea areas of the coast extending from Hambantota to Kankasanture via Pothuil, Batiklo and Trincomalee until 15th December. Showers or thunder showers will occur at several places in the sea area within the next 24 hours, extending from Hambantota to Trincomalee via Pothuil. Heavy showers can be expected at some places in the deep sea areas. Winds will be northeasterly in the sea areas around the island and wind speeds will be 30 to 40 kilometers per hour. A Sri Lankan Air Force Mi-17 helicopter was deployed with a bambi bucket this morning from Ratmalana to douse the fire that had erupted in the upper part of the Walamale Forest Reserve in Nalatanya. Difficulties arose to douse the fire due to the problems of reaching the area where the fire had erupted. The fire in the Walamale Reserve area in Lakshapana, Nalatanya erupted last night. The Nalatanya police took the initiative of preventing the spread of the fire, but they had to seek the support of the Sri Lanka Air Force as it was difficult to reach the location where the fire had erupted. Accordingly, a Sri Lanka Air Force Mi-17 helicopter was deployed with a bambi bucket this morning, carrying water from the Mausa Kale Reservoir to douse the fire. The Nalatanya police said that a certain individual would have set fire to the reserve. The fire is reported to have destroyed nearly 3 acres of the reserve. The Sripada Reserve is situated on the upper division of this reserve. A motion has been filed in the Supreme Court requesting a full judge bench to take up the appeals petition challenging the stay order given by the appeals court preventing Mahinda Rajapaksa from serving as the Prime Minister. The petition has been filed by a lawyer on behalf of Ranil Wickremesinghe, who is the first respondent in this petition. A request has been made to take up this petition for consideration by a 5-judge bench and not to take up before Supreme Court Judge Eva Vanasundara. The appeals petition of Mahinda Rajapaksa is due to be taken up for consideration tomorrow. The appeal was filed against the interim order, stating that the interim order is unconstitutional and that the Court of Appeal has no authority to issue such orders. The appeal was filed by attorneys on behalf of Mahinda Rajapaksa. In addition, the appeals petition filed by parliamentarians Dinesh Gunawardena, Chamal Rajapaksa, Dr. Vijay Dasa Rajapaksa and Johnston Fernando challenging the interim order is also due to be taken up for hearing tomorrow. 5.9 million rupees in cash and 2 satellite phones have been recovered from the house of the owner of the trawler that had been transporting heroin. The Police Narcotics Bureau seized 231.54 kilograms of heroin on the 5th of this month. Dulip Samantha De Silva, who is the owner of the trawler that had been transporting the heroin, is already in custody and being detained. Officials of the Police Narcotics Bureau searched his house situated at Moragolla in Beruala last afternoon. The police, who recovered 5.9 million rupees during this search operation, believe that the money may have been earned through the heroin racket. The two other suspects who have been taken into custody in respect to this incident are in remand prison. The funeral of popular vocalist Upali Kannangara is scheduled to take place at the Kohuala Cemetery on Saturday.
Upali Kannangara was 67 years old at his demise. He went under the knife for a cardiac arrest. Upali Kannangara is a father of 2 children. His mortal remains are kept at his private residence at the 4th lane of the Jambukasmulla Mawatha in Nugegoda. Many of his songs, rendered by Upali Kannangara as a vocalist for several decades, became much popular.
And that's all the news for tonight. Log in to itnnews.lk for the very latest. I'm Ashani Gamage signing out. Good night.